In this video, I'm going to talk about using parameters for furniture design. So let's take a look. So when doing furniture type design in Fusion, there's a couple of tips and tricks that I do that I think help speed up the process and help for manufacturing, and that is to use parameters. So I'm going to start out by creating some parameters. And the first one is, like, let's say I want to create a bookcase. So I'm going to be making it out of plywood. So I'm going to create a parameter called ply. And let's just say we're going to use 3/4 inch plywood. So I'll type in 0.75. But I also know I'm going to have some dados in the plywood, and I'll have some thinner plywood for the backing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to create a couple more parameters in here. In fact, when I do a dados, I like to have a little bit of tolerance in there. So I'm going to create another parameter called tolerance, or TOL for short. And I might do like 0.0125 for the tolerance. And you can see as I'm creating this little plus symbol, it's creating a user parameter. And then I'll do another one and I'll call it dado. And for that, I'm going to say that is going to be whatever plywood is plus the tolerance. So I'm just typing in plywood plus the tolerance, and you can see what the value is right there. And I now have a variable called dado. So I'm going to start out with these for now, and I'll go ahead and start my design. I'm making sure I'm in inches, and I'm going to go ahead and create one of the side panels. So let's just go ahead and create a component called side, and I'll just create a quick sketch. Now here's another cool trick. I'm going to create the side panel, and as I'm designing, as I'm drawing my rectangle, you notice it's asking for some dimensions. Well, I can actually come in here and say, for example, depth. So I'm just going to start typing in depth is equal, and let's just say 18. And so you can kind of see how, as I was typing that in, it was red. But as soon as I gave it a value of 18, it turned black. In fact, I'll do the same thing now. I'm going to hit tab to go into this other variable here, and I'm going to say height, and you'll see that it's red, right? Oops, height is equal to, and let's just say 48 in this case. And let me zoom out so you can kind of see it, and you can see that it turned black also. I'll go ahead and hit enter, and I just created some parameters on the fly. So if I were to come in here and say change parameters, you can see that it created these parameters as I was designing. I didn't have to do it beforehand like I did with these other ones. Okay, so I'll go ahead and finish my sketch. Let's go ahead and extrude this. Now how far? Well, I'm going to start to extrude that direction. I can see it's in the negative direction, so I'm going to say minus ply. So I just start typing in, P for ply, and that is the exact thickness of the plywood. So if I were to click on this edge right here, we can see that that's the length of 0.75. Okay, now I'm going to come in and create some of the dados. So I'll go ahead and project this geometry so I have the overall size of this, and I'm just going to draw a quick rectangle from edge to edge like so. I didn't type in any dimensions, but now I can come in and dimension this thickness right here, and this is where I'm going to type in dado. And now that rectangle is the correct thickness or width for the dado. Now I also might want it to be a certain height from the ground. In fact, most people call it like toe kick. So I'm going to just give this a name called toe kick is equal to, let's just say 3 inches. And I'll finish my sketch. And I want to extrude this into the plywood. Now I want it to go half the distance of whatever the plywood is. So we can see right now it's going in the negative direction. So I'm going to say minus ply, and we'll see that it'll go all the way through. But I want it to go halfway through, so I'm going to say divided by 2. Now you might ask, well, why are we doing all of these variables? Well, let's say I want to create this bookcase out of 1/2 inch plywood instead of 3/4. or, 1/2 inch oak or something like that. I don't have to redesign the whole thing. I would just come in and change the variable ply to 0.5 and everything would update accordingly. My dado depths would always be half of the distance of whatever this thickness is. Okay, so I now have my first dado here, and I want to pattern this. So I'm going to go ahead and say rectangular pattern, and I want to pattern the dado feature, which happens to be this extrude feature. What's the axis? I'm going to tell it to select one of these vertical edges, and I'm going to start to drag so we can kind of visually see what this looks like. Now I'm going to do some cool stuff here. I'm going to keep this set to extent, and we can see the distance. Now I want to go the total height. So I'm going to come back in here and say minus height, and we get a preview. Okay, now we can see that that went too far. Well, that's because our dado is starting, whatever the toe kick height is, up from the bottom. So I need to say plus the toe kick, and we can see that that brought that down. Okay. Well, then I need to bring it down whatever that is. So I'm going to say plus the dado, and we can see that that brought that down. So we're basically, and the reason I did the plus is because we're kind of going in the negative direction. So we're basically taking the overall height and the toe kick and the dado, all of those together. And now we can kind of see that total height here. And if I change the quantity of my shelves from 3 to 4 to 5, we can see that that doesn't matter. It stays the same. And we're going to have, this top dado here is going to be our top shelf. So let's leave the shelf quantity at 5. And I'll go ahead and say OK. And we've just created this guy. Now I want to create a recess in the back for the plywood. So I'm going to create a quick sketch here. And I'll go ahead and project. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle that is going to remove all of this material here. So I'm going to go ahead and select that profile. There's multiple profiles here. So I'll go ahead and make sure I select all of these and machine these away. So I'll say extrude. Now how far do I want to extrude? Well, I'm going to say back ply is equal to minus 0.25. And we can see we're creating a new variable called back ply, and it's 1/4 inch thick. And so we just basically created a rabbit that went back 1/4 inch. Okay, so now I can go ahead and create a new component. I'll call it back. Let's go ahead and create a sketch on this back piece here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and project this. That way everything's referencing this part. I'll go ahead and project that, create a rectangle here. And just like before, I can use my variables. So I'm going to say I want this to be whatever the height is. So I'll select that for my height. And then for this one here, I'm going to say width is equal to, let's just make it like 48 in this case. So I just created a quick rectangle that's, in this case, it's 48 by 48. Let me move that so you can kind of see that. I'll finish my sketch and we'll extrude this. How far? Well, let's start to drag in the correct direction, and let's just say minus back ply. And that way, if we end up using like a different type of material like Luan or something like that, like that's like 1/8 inch or something like that, we could change that variable. And actually, it looks like it needs to go in the positive direction. There we go. So we can kind of see it's going to fit in that rabbit. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to mirror this to the other side. So I'm going to create a midplane between that face there and this face here. Now it's kind of buried by this part, so a neat little trick. I'm just going to click and hold so I can select and probe through and pick the face that I want, which happens to be this third face right here. And by selecting that, you can see it created a midplane that slices through the middle of this back part. Then what I can do is, let's go ahead and mirror this component. So this side component here, what's our mirror plane? We'll select that as our mirror plane and say OK. And we now have a duplicate of that side. Now let's say I want to do a shelf. I'll come in here and create a new component. We'll call it shelf. And I'll create a quick sketch on this front face. Now here's kind of where it gets interesting. I want to just draw a rectangle here. I'm not going to worry about the size. I'm just going to kind of draw a basic rectangle and dimension this, and I want this to be ply. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and say ply. And then what I want to do is kind of position this in place, and this is where I want the tolerance to come into play. So I'm going to select that edge there and this edge here and type in tolerance. And I'll go ahead and hit enter, and we can see that it brought that in, but it's touching up here. So I basically want half of the tolerance. So I'm going to go ahead and say tolerance divided by 2. And now we can see we have equal spacing here and equal spacing here. And then for this distance, I might just do the full tolerance. So I'm going to type in TOL, say OK. And now we can see that this piece of plywood shelf is going to fit really nice and tight into that dado. It has enough slop that it can fit in there, but it'll still fit in there nicely. And then there's a little bit of wiggle room back and forth there. Now, what's the total length? I don't know. It really depends on all of the variables of how wide our bookcase is. So I'm actually going to create a dimension. So let me go ahead and project this edge here. I'll say OK. And let's throw a dimension from that edge to this edge. And we'll make that tolerance also. And now we can see that rectangle, that shelf is in here. And we'll go ahead and extrude this guy. How far? Let's go to the back. So I'm going to just say to object. We can see it's 17 3/4 in this case. I'll say OK, and we've just created our shelf. Now I want to duplicate this, but I don't know how far these dados are spaced. So here's a neat little trick. I'm going to come into my parameters here. Let me go ahead and expand this open a little bit. And here are the model parameters. And if I expand open the side, we can see here is that rectangular pattern. And if I expand that open, here's that variable that we created. And we can see what the distance is right here. But you'll notice that it says D14. So I'm going to use that D14. So I'm going to say rectangular pattern, but this time I want to pattern the shelf component. What's the axes? I'll go ahead and select the vertical edge. I like to start to drag, and then we'll do the extent, and then D14. And we can see that's going in the wrong direction, so I will go ahead and remove that. And we can see, sure enough, it's going to the very top, but we need to have the same number of shelves, so I'm going to say 5 in this case, and we'll say OK. And we now have all of our shelves exactly where they need to be, perfectly spaced in the dados. In fact, what I could do is come in here and create another quick parameter. So I'll say number of shelves. but the unit can't be inches. It has to be a no units. And let's just say 4, for example. And so now we can see number of shelves is 4. And then if I come into this pattern, I could come in here and say number of shelves, hit enter, and we can see it went from 5 to 4. So that was for the side. I'll go ahead and edit the pattern here and change that also to the number of shelves. Say OK, and now we have the 4 shelves. So now that we've set everything up, I can come into my parameters. Let me go ahead and minimize some of these real quick, and we can make changes to our design. So for example, the overall depth, we could say change from 18 to 12, and we can see how the whole thing updated. The overall height, we can go from 48 to 42, for example, and we can see how that updated, and the shelves updated also. We could change our toe kick from 3 to 6, and everything updated there accordingly. And then same thing, like if we decide to change our plywood from 0.75 to 0.5, you'll notice that everything updates. So everything, the dados changed width. There's still the tolerance in there. In fact, we could come in and change our tolerance to be 0.125, which makes no sense, but you'll see, a larger gap there, but everything updates accordingly. So let's set that back. We could change the overall width of the cabinet to only be, 18 inches, and there we go. So use some of the parameters to kind of speed up your design. And the other reason I like doing this is I'll go make some test cuts on my table saw or on my CNC machine to find out, if I go buy some plywood, it might be 0.77 in thickness instead of 0.75. And I might create some dados on some test pieces and get that exact width that I want it to be. And so the shelf fits perfectly. And then I could just come back in here and specify what that tolerance is. And then everything updates accordingly. And then all my tool paths for my CNC machine will update to cut the exact widths the way I want them to. So hopefully this helps you out in future furniture projects. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe to be notified of upcoming videos. If you need help learning Fusion, visit my webpage at cadedllc.com. And as always, have fun learning Fusion.